Welcome to Aviation Farming and the Mckinley Farm on the island of Bohol in the Philippines. Today is rice harvest day on the Mckinley Farm. In the province of Bohol in the Philippines is where the Mckinley Farm is located. It is here where rice is harvested at least every year and sometimes up to 3 crops per year. The farm is nestled in the lush greenery of the countryside. The landscape here is dotted with rice fields and coconut trees just as far as the eye can see. The rice growing season here usually begins around the month of May. That's when the farmers prepare the fields for planting. They plow the land and level it carefully, ensuring that the soil is rich and fertile. Then they scatter or plant the rice seeds across the fields and wait for them to sprout. Many times they plant the seeds in squares near the rice fields and wait for them to sprout, and then they replant the sprouts into the fields. As the rice plants grow taller and stronger, the farmers tend to them with care, making sure that they receive enough water and nutrients. They also protect them from pests and other threats that can harm the crops. Finally, when the rice is fully grown and ready for harvest, the farmers gather together to begin the process. They use traditional methods that have been passed down through generations, using their hands to cut the stalks and bind them into bundles. Once the rice has been harvested, it's laid out in the sun to dry. The farmers carefully turn the rice grains over, making sure that they're evenly exposed to the sun's rays. This process can take several days depending upon the weather. When the rice is fully dry, it is threshed to separate the grain from the husk. This is done by beating the rice with sticks or using a threshing machine. At that point, any remaining debris or chaff is separated from the grain. Finally, the rice is ready to be stored or sold. It is a moment of great pride and satisfaction for the farmers who have worked so hard for months to bring in the harvest. In the province of Bohol, rice is more than just a crop. It's a way of life. The farmers here have a deep respect for the land and the traditions that have sustained them for generations. And as they harvest the rice each year, they are reminded of the beauty and the simplicity of life in the countryside. Many times the landowners will sharecrop their rice fields, meaning that they will allow a farmer to come in and plant rice on their rice fields, and when the rice is harvested, the landowner will receive a share of the crop. Also, many times the laborers will work for a share of the rice crop. The larger farms will plant their own rice crops and pay laborers to harvest their crops and to take care of the crops. This is the Mckinley Farm rice fields, which is nestled about in the center of the 10-acre Mckinley Farm. This series of about 8 boxes of rice fields here are roughly about 2 acres total in size. As you can see, the harvesting of the rice is tedious, hard, and sometimes dangerous work because you're using a sharp sickle to chop off the stalks, and it's probably kind of hard on your back because you're bent over all the time. The Mckinley Farm is a beautiful 35,000 plus square meter farm located on the northeastern side of the island of Bohol in the Philippines. And it's about a kilometer or a little less distance from the Philippine Sea. The farm produces coconuts, rice, cassava, peanuts, and pineapple. They also have their own little fishing boat, which they keep on a beach walking distance from the farm to do their fishing. Harvesting will be done soon. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.